This episode of the Wayang Crew Podcast is brought to you by Times Cineplex. Hey, welcome back once again to yet another episode of the Wayang Crew Podcast. It's me, as usual, Kev, your host, as we talk about all things movies, especially movies that are playing here in Brunei Darussalam. Today, it's just two of us here in the recording room. It's myself and Tibby.
Hey.
What's up, man? How are you?
I'm good. Just started to exercise regularly nowadays.
Yeah, you're like a gym guy now.
I wouldn't say I'm a gym guy, but I'm trying.
You're trying.
Yes.
What happened to the rest of our panel?
Busy with their daily lives.
Busy with life.
Yeah.
And it's just two of us who are sad enough to just say, well, we got to do a recording.
Yeah.
All right, so since it's just the two of us today, we're going to do just a very quick show this week. We're going to be reviewing a movie called Triple Frontier, which is a Netflix film, something that we talked about a little bit earlier in the year. And it's a big movie for Netflix because it features people like Ben Affleck, Oscar Isaac, Charlie Hunnam, Pedro Pascal, among other big stars.
I like how you said big movie for Netflix.
Because
I thought it was a big movie full stop. No, that's a lie.
It's a big movie for Netflix, which is an indicator of where this movie review is going to go. But first, let's get to the news. And big news today. It just dropped this morning as I woke up. Big headlines. James Gunn is back and he will be directing Guardians of the Galaxy 3 after all.
I'm loving it.
I'm loving it. He got let go last July because of
something he said 10 years ago. Maybe I don't remember how long it was.
It was about 10 years. Some tweets that some guy resurfaced up from the depths of the web.
Some things you can't say nowadays without getting any consequences.
That's true. But then this just kind of proves that Disney, I guess, does listen to their fans and maybe even to Bautista, who was adamant that, dude, this guy...
I think it's Bautista.
It could be.
Maybe him.
I mean, Disney will never admit that they're bowing down to pressure. But seeing as how James Gunn has already done most of the pre-production and all the work and the script and the story, it didn't really make much sense for them to throw him out like that.
They might end up losing more money.
That's true because I don't mean it, but he sort of quote-unquote owns this franchise. This franchise is him. So that's great news for everyone out there, especially Guardians of the Galaxy fans and fans of the MCU in general. We also got something this week which was huge that dropped and it sort of made the world right. Yes, you're bowing your head, but I'm going to prove you wrong. Nope, it's the trailer for Aladdin.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've always said that I would watch it regardless of how people view the genie will be.
I had my doubts, right? I've been very vocal on this podcast about how Disney was, I guess, just trying to make a quick buck and just trying to make everything live action. Mm-hmm. And they may have lost their way a little bit by putting Will Smith as the genie. But this trailer kind of makes things a little bit right because I see the genie now.
Yes.
And there was this big worry about, having some huge shoes to fill, having the part been played by Robin Williams previously. Uh-huh. But it seems that Will Smith has maybe managed to make this character his own.
Yeah, because... Yeah, I don't think you can be Robin Williams. So instead of trying to be Robin Williams, might as well just make this genie himself.
Yeah, own the part.
Yeah. I mean, of course, he's going to probably take some cues from the previous one. Mm-hmm. But I guess this is what we're going to get.
Yeah. Did you see some of the things that were on 9gag and floating around the internet about how certain shots and certain postures that Will Smith was making was very reminiscent of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So if he's bringing that kind of thing where it's a little bit meta and at the same time he's infusing pop culture in general into it, I think it could work.
And he also has a human form.
Yeah, he does. So that's what we initially saw from the first Empire Magazine article. Which
people got raged out because, what? He's not blue.
And then they said, okay, here he is blue, and then they didn't like it.
Yeah.
Now it's, I guess, a nice balance.
Yeah.
What did you think of the rest of the trailer?
Jafar doesn't look evil, so...
That's true.
Jafar looks like a spoiled brat to me.
Some of my female friends said, Jafar's too hot.
Yeah, I have no comments in that.
You better not. Another big trailer dropped this week. This one dropped 2 days ago, and I saw it as soon as it came out because I got the notification on YouTube. It's going to be the biggest movie of 2019, which is Avengers Endgame. And this is the, I guess, final trailer before the movie comes out in a little bit more than a month. This trailer is amazing. It is the biggest thing that has filled my screen this year, I think.
I mean, if you were really looking forward for Avengers Endgame. I think they made it right with this trailer because now you really, really want to know what happens in the movie.
And what's amazing is that there are some articles out there that say Russo Brothers have mentioned that what we see in the trailers so far is only like the first 15 minutes, which is... If that's what's happening in the first 15 minutes, then this movie could go anywhere.
Yeah, because they have scenes like fighting scenes in the movie, and if that's the first 15 minutes, I don't know what the rest of the 2 hours is going to be like.
They have fighting scenes, they have like touching scenes, and this trailer sort of harkens back to like the history of the MCU.
Yes.
Looking back on the last 10, 11 years, where we see scenes of like the first Iron Man, the first Captain America, the first and second Thor movies. It's like a huge culmination, and they're really driving this point home to say that, look, this is Endgame.
But then you see Tony Stark on Earth.
Yeah.
So I guess he survived. We don't know, but
I have a theory that's like a misdirect. So Marvel's not foreign to doing
someone's
things like
imagination, and then the imagination goes into visual. And this is what will happen if Tony Stark's back.
So are you saying that we're just projecting at this point? No, we're not. Anyway, the Dark Universe from Universal, we talked about this last week on the show, and they apparently are moving ahead with The Invisible Man, and we joked around on this podcast to say that, well, they don't need a lead because...
Yeah, they just need a floating hat.
And sunglasses.
Yeah.
Apparently, Universal is courting Arnie Hammer and Alexander Skarsgård to play the lead.
Skarsgård?
Yeah, because he was Pennywise.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think he would...
And he
make
was
a
also
good role.
in Deadpool 2.
As the villain?
Yeah, no, he was the one that puked acid and he died really quickly.
Was that him?
Yeah, it was him. That's Alexander Skarsgård.
Oh, okay.
What do you think? Do you think you'd go with Arnie Hammer or Skarsgård?
Skarsgård.
Really?
I don't know. I feel like he could be a method actor.
Arnie Hammer's a big dude. He's tall. He's like 6'3".
I haven't seen a movie that I actually liked where he is in it.
Oh.
So that's probably why. Like, at least when I watched it, it was a really good movie for me. So I was like, okay, he's a good actor.
All right. So Universal, you've heard from us. It's got to be Skarsgård if you want someone to play the lead for this Invisible Man movie. If not, don't bother.
Well, initially it was Johnny Depp, right?
Yeah, Johnny Depp.
No, don't.
No, not Johnny Depp.
I don't think I can take him seriously now.
All right. Spider-Man, which is owned by Sony, sadly, it hasn't gone back to Marvel just yet. Although Marvel, over the last couple of years, have worked together with Sony to bring Spider-Man back to the MCU and also to assist, I guess, with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which won an Oscar at the recent Oscars. Sony apparently has plans for 7 or 8 years of movies
Based
and
on
TV
Okay.
of Spider-Man. So they're really pushing this whole Spider-Man thing that they own.
What's the name of the Spider Pig?
Spider-Ham.
Spider-Ham.
Yeah.
Yeah. If there was an actual movie of Spider-Ham, I would watch it.
You'd watch it?
Yeah.
Well, good news for you because on the Blu-ray special edition, there's going to be a short film, like 20 minutes, and it's
Of
all
Spider-Ham.
about Spider-Ham.
All right. Looking forward to that.
So you like the John Mulaney take on it?
Yeah, I mean, I guess asking for a movie will probably be too much to ask because I won't be able to take it seriously. Probably 20 minutes should be okay, I guess.
20 minutes?
Yeah.
All right. Sesame Street, which is something from our childhoods,
Yeah.
for sure. And if we had other panelists, Del would say, yep, for him as well, and I'm sure Kai as well. Did you know that there was a movie scheduled to come out, like a Sesame Street movie, and they have announced that their star for this movie is Anne Hathaway?
As the Big Bird?
I don't know.
I'm not looking forward to this because I already know how to count.
Which would kind of fit because Anne Hathaway played Catwoman
Yeah.
and then Big Bird, so it kind of works together, Cat Bird. Anyway, it's coming out in 2021 and it's going to be a musical, like I said, starring Anne Hathaway.
No, I'm not catching this. I'm sorry.
Whatever it is, if it comes out, I will give it the time and watch it and maybe...
You're on your own with this.
Come on,
No,
man.
I'm not watching Sesame Street.
Ah, man. All right. We had news from Marvel a couple of months ago that they were moving ahead with a Doctor Strange sequel. The director for that is Scott Derrickson, and he may have released like a spoiler/teaser because he tweeted out a photo of Namor. And there was no real explanation.
Wait, what?
Huh?
This is Doctor Strange, right?
Yeah, Doctor Strange's director, Scott Derrickson, he tweeted out a photo
Of Namor.
of Namor.
Which is
Aquaman's,
That's That's DC.
The Aquaman of the Marvel universe.
Oh, okay.
I don't know very much about Namor. It's a shame we don't have Kai.
Because he's the comic book
Yeah,
expert.
comic book guy. But do you want to see Marvel have its own Aquaman-ish character?
I guess, but I'm more looking forward for Doctor Strange sequel.
What if it was a Doctor Strange sequel and they introduced the character of Namor?
That'll be okay, but that's not the main
He's not the
objective
main,
for me.
correct.
To watch it. It's the Doctor Strange.
Do you think that Marvel is responding by thinking of doing a Namor movie or including
Because of
Namor
Aquaman?
because of Aquaman?
No, I don't think Marvel's. I think they're like, if you want to do it, it's not because of DC.
You sure?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, last bit of news on this week of the podcast. As I mentioned, we're keeping this one short. We did do a review a while ago for this movie called The Hitman's Bodyguard, which starred Ryan Reynolds and Samuel L. Jackson. That was also another Netflix movie, wasn't it? No. It was a Chinese studio movie,
Yes.
all right? There is a sequel that's coming out for this movie, and the cast looks kind of promising because Morgan Freeman and Antonio Banderas have signed on. And check this out. They actually managed to get Frank Grillo as well.
So this is their version of The Expendables.
It's Ryan Reynolds' version of The Expendables.
But it's probably a lot smarter than The Expendables in a way, I guess.
Let's hope, because The Hitman's Bodyguard was not a great movie, but it was just a okay.
Yeah.
There were some laughs and there was some action.
It was witty.
But the effects were not quite there.
No.
If they tell a good enough story, I'd watch this, just for Ryan Reynolds and Samuel L. Jackson, just to see them back together on
Samuel
screen.
L. Jackson and Morgan Freeman.
Oh, yeah. Have they ever appeared on screen? I can't remember.
I don't think so.
No?
Wait, are they both in this movie? Or is
Yeah,
this,
they both.
okay.
They're both in this movie.
Okay, man, that's interesting
Hello,
to watch.
Samuel. Nice to see you. All right, yeah. All right, so that's the news this week on the Wayang Crew Podcast. As I said before, we're keeping this one short, which leads us to our next bit of the show, which is our review of a movie called Triple Frontier. It's available on Netflix right now, so you can watch it right in your own homes. You don't have to go to the cinema. On your phone, exactly. This movie is about a group of, I guess, ex and current
Marine,
soldiers,
I don't know, yeah.
like Special Forces soldiers.
Yes.
Played by Ben Affleck, Oscar Isaac, Charlie Hunnam, and Pedro Pascal. And
there was one guy I
can't remember the other guy. He's like a brother to Charlie Hunnam's character. And Oscar Isaac is an independent military contractor guy who was working for some, I think, the South American government.
Country.
Yeah, country. And he comes up with this big plan to rob one of the biggest drug cartel guys down in his safe house where he keeps
in the jungle.
In excess of like $70 million in cash, because
more 200, like it was like.
Well, that's the twist later on in the movie, but initially he estimated $75 million, and he ropes in his ex, I guess, squad mates who are Ben Affleck, Charlie Hunnam, the brother, and Pedro Pascal, and it's essentially a militarized heist movie.
If I had to explain, if my parents were to watch Rambo in modern times, this is our Rambo. It's like if we had kids, this is what we would be looking forward to watch.
Okay.
For me, like it's that they're the lead action actors of our time.
Yes.
So that's why I watched it, because of all the
big names that were attached to it.
Yeah.
In terms of production value, I thought that they did quite a good job maybe for the first half of the movie. And then after that, it got a bit like, okay, you need to change the scenery a little bit more. Because their grand plan was to rob and then get a helicopter to a landing site and then load it up and then fly to the ocean and escape by boat. That's
more of a logistics storyline.
It is, yeah. That's the logistics part of this whole heist, and things go very, very wrong for them because instead of having just 70, they end up with close to $250 million, maybe more.
They didn't check the whole house
because it was not just the drug dealers' money. It was like other drug cartels who
drug
were
dealers' parents.
and the uncle. I think he was starting a bank. He was gonna go legit next. Yeah, and it's just a story of, I guess, camaraderie and brotherhood and how things can go really, really wrong, and what seemingly is a success can slowly dwindle down.
I think
to almost nothing.
The story, when you ask me like what's the story about, it's about ex-army people trying to rob a drug dealer. That's it, and then trying to go back to America.
And that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
That's essentially the story.
Yeah, but they're trying to do so much for that small story, which kind of was a bit of a letdown at the end.
Yeah, they tried to really stretch out, I guess, the basics of the story because we end up in situations where you look at the screen and what's happening and like, is this really necessary?
Yes.
Like, get a move on, like move, like just go. And you get angry at some parts.
Yeah, especially the helicopter crash.
Yeah.
That was not believable.
It didn't make much sense. But anyway, since it's on Netflix, we're not going to talk too much about this movie. What do you give this movie, like, out of 10?
6.5 Marines.
6.5 Marines.
Out of 10.
I'm going to give this movie a 5 helicopters out of 10 because I think it's, if you want something to pass the time, yeah, you can watch this movie.
It's an average Netflix movie at best for me.
Well, like I said, this is the biggest movie for Netflix. Because of the cast and because I think this is probably one of their biggest budgets that they've spent for a movie.
But I've enjoyed other Netflix movies more than Triple Frontier, like the Bird Box, and there was another one about like Alien. I don't remember what's the title.
Alien?
Sandra Bullock? Was it Sandra Bullock?
No, Sandra Bullock was Bird Box. And then you had the other one, which was Forrest Whitaker, and they were trying to save his daughter. Was that the one?
No, this is like there's a force field area. They have to go inside where everything is weird.
Oh, I don't remember.
I don't remember what it's called. Interstellar. Was it? No. I don't remember. But it's I enjoyed that more than Triple Frontier. It's a good movie. It's an average movie. Average movie.
All right. I guess that's the show this week. Since it's just me and you, I'm not going to bother with an upper lit yet because I have not been watching much since last week.
Neither have I. I just watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
There you go. All right. So that's the episode this week for the Wayang Crew Podcast. We're so sorry it's a little bit short this week because it's just Tibby and myself. But next week we'll be back maybe with a...
Hopefully
we'll be back and we'll see what we do. But until then, this is Kev signing off for the Wayang Crew. Thank you so much for my co-host Tibby for being with me here today and talking about Triple Frontier and all the news. We'll see you on the next episode of the podcast. Bye.
Bye.